This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news as Fargo Public Schools will be dropping its mask requirement at all FPS buildings starting on January 17th, but they're still going to recommend them. This is because Fargo Cass Public Health updated its COVID-19 guidance for K through 12 schools in Cass County. The updated guidance was developed with the North Dakota Department of Health and FCPH's Physician Advisory Group, and notes that starting on January 15th, the guidance for universal masking in Cass County school systems will transition to masks strongly recommended. For more information on the updated guidance, log on to our website at valleynewslive.com. We have new information this afternoon as police are trying to find the man who robbed a Casey's store yesterday afternoon. Investigators released some photos today of the person they believe committed the crime. It happened around this time yesterday afternoon at 204 42nd Street South, which is near Corwin's Honda. Police say the robber threatened the clerk with an alleged weapon and then ran off with cash. The clerk was not hurt. The man is described as approximately 5 feet 11 inches tall, lighter skinned, wearing a darker colored jacket with a gray sweatshirt underneath. This is the second armed robbery at a Casey's in Fargo this month. Tyler Hendrickson is charged with the holdup at the Casey's on 25th Street and I-94 last week. Authorities say that he made off with $215 and a carton of cigarettes and robbed the place to support his drug habit. The man accused of forcing a woman at gunpoint to withdraw money from a bank ATM is facing even more charges. Sharmaik Mohammed Abduali is charged with kidnapping, aggravated robbery, alongside charges in Clay County. New charges of kidnapping and terrorizing have been filed since that incident started in Fargo. On October 19th, a woman told officers that he went up to her car on University Drive with a gun and told her to take him to the Gate City Bank in Moorhead. He told her to withdraw some money so he could use it for rent. She was unsuccessful. She says he eventually got out of her car and threatened to kill her if she called police. Super nice to see melting today, wasn't it? I'm guessing the wind even helped out the cause. Let's find out from Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson about tonight. Hutch?
Thanks so much. It did feel nice to warm up just a bit, even though we had a fair amount of clouds. And you know, snow isn't always bad, like this fella here, Stephanie shared. First snow angel. Oh, so fun, and I'm glad I had a chance to do that. Hey, some of you will get some more snow as we go through the next 24 hours, and wind is the main concern that's going to change overnight. In fact, we have a wind advisory here in the valley. Wind warnings for our James River Valley counties. We're going to have gusty winds. Right now we have passing spits, the blue snow exiting off to the east. A few of us still getting some rain showers, though, up in Roseau County and Kitson County. Tomorrow, it's a first alert weather day for wind and flakes. Not all of us will get the flakes. We all will get the wind. Beautiful setting sun, home of economy location, Grand Forks, North Dakota. Your planner for tonight, Mike, looks like this. We'll have cloudy skies, temperatures hovering in those mid-30s throughout the evening, some clearing overnight, but the wind is on its way up. And by morning, some of us will have flakes. I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect as we glide through your hump day here in just a few minutes, Mike, but be prepared for some wintry travel in some of our area.
We need to be taking it easy anyway.
Yes.
All right, thanks. New at 5 this afternoon, as the holidays creep closer, scammers are once again targeting shoppers and travelers looking for the best deals on the hottest items. You're urged to keep your guard up when scrolling online, as scammers have gotten more sophisticated. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spoke to two scam experts today on what to watch out for and how to beat the cheat.
It's no secret holiday shopping is stressful, and on top of supply and worker shortages, we have to protect our pocketbook.
We deserve a deal, we feel like, after the pandemic, and we're going to click on the links that will take us to nefarious sites.
The Better Business Bureau says the average lost in holiday scams is up from last year at $102, and says those 18 to 24 are the most likely to be swindled.
This age group is spending a lot of time online, so they're more susceptible to seeing and scrolling and innocently clicking on things.
Holiday travel scams are also hitting inboxes, with one in particular raising eyebrows from security experts.
The language that's in the emails themselves is put together very nicely, very good English and grammar.
The new scam looks like it's coming from TSA. asking people to apply or reinstate their pre-check status for $140. The catch is you can only pay through PayPal.
Looking at the sophistication level of this attack, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the success rate were pretty high, just because a lot of the red flags that we teach people to look out for aren't really there.
And he says falling for this scam may open yourself up to identity theft and further cons down the road. Both Hasselt and Vang say it's important to do research and read reviews before you hit purchase this holiday season. And to always remember, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
The experts also urge you shoppers to use secure and traceable payment methods and say that it's always best to use a credit card over a debit card. West Fargo has a new assistant police chief. Pete Nielsen takes over the job there. He started with the department back in 1999 and previously served in the U.S. Air Force. Nielsen follows Jerry Boyer, who was placed on leave in August and then resigned in October. Valley News Live obtained investigative documents that said Boyer created a hostile environment, embarrassed and intimidated other employees. West Fargo police officer Tim Brown is back home. That's good news. The department says that he visited the police station yesterday and is now with his family. Brown suffered a heart attack on October 31st while booking 2 people into the Cass County Jail. And he spent the last 2 weeks receiving specialized treatment in a Nebraska hospital. He'll continue his rehab locally. North Dakota tax commissioner who was taken to a detox center yesterday has announced that he's stepping down. Ryan Rauschenberger's resignation will go into effect on January 3rd, and Governor Doug Burgum will appoint someone to finish out the remainder of his term. Bismarck police say Rauschenberger tried to check into a Bismarck hotel, but his room wasn't ready. So he went into a vacant room that was being cleaned and wouldn't answer the door when management tried to get inside. Once police did get in, they woke him up, determined that he was intoxicated beyond the point of being able to care for himself.
I mean, you should have texted him. You should have said, hold on. American people, all of us.
Protesters clashed outside a Wisconsin courtroom as the jury is deliberating the fate of 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. He's charged with killing 2 men and wounding a third at a protest in Kenosha last August. Deliberations began after the field of 18 jurors was narrowed down to 12 after their numbers were placed on pieces of paper in a lottery tumbler in the courtroom. And Rittenhouse himself picked 6 pieces of paper that were used to identify the alternate jurors. This is unusual. A courtroom clerk is usually responsible for that task, not the defendant. Court is back in session in South Georgia in the trial of 3 white men accused of killing Ammon Arberry. The county medical examiner took the stand on this, the 8th day of the trial, and delivered graphic testimony. Chris Wynn has a closer look at the new details which surfaced today.
A critical witness takes the stand.
Shows the gunshot wound.
Jurors hearing graphic testimony from the medical examiner who performed an autopsy on Ahmaud Arbery after his death.
The hand was in front of the chest and was struck first, and then it entered the body.
Edmund Donahue describing severe wounds that were caused by 3 gunshot blasts and testifying that no matter what life-saving measures police attempted on the scene, Arbery would still have died.
And they couldn't do anything about the bleeding as long as the heart was beating.
In other words, is there anything they could have done on scene to save his life?
No.
3 white men, Travis McMichael, his father Greg McMichael, and their neighbor William Bryan, face felony murder and other charges in the February 2020 shooting of the 25-year-old in Brunswick, Georgia. They claim they were trying to make a citizen's arrest because they suspected Arbery of entering a vacant home following a string of neighborhood break-ins.
I'm not granting a mistrial.
Tuesday's testimony follows a tense day in the courtroom. On Monday, civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson was there with Arbery's mother, prompting the defense to once again call for a mistrial. The judge refused that and rebuked an earlier request to remove black pastors from the courtroom.
So then we start getting into what we have now with individual members or individuals coming into the courtroom. I will say that is directly in response, Mr. Goff, to statements you made, which I find reprehensible.
I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Prosecutors have said while Arberry was seen inside the unsecured home on several occasions, he never stole anything or damaged any property. Hundreds of state law enforcement officers in Minnesota will soon be outfitted with body cameras. More than 600 Minnesota State Patrol troopers, nearly 200 Department of Natural Resources conservation officers, and other state-level law enforcement officers will soon wear the 1,100 body cameras that have been ordered. The State Patrol will begin distributing the cameras to troopers starting next month. History was made recently in northeastern North Dakota. Earlier this month, Farmers Elevator Company of Honeyford loaded the largest train in U.S. history. The Honeyford Grain Elevator is the first United States facility to load an 8,500-foot or a 1.6-mile-long train. Leaders in the railroad industry say they expect other participants in the crop-moving industry to move this way as well.
It's got to be efficient both ways. It's got to be efficient for the railroad. It's got to be efficient for the elevator as well too. So that's kind of the partnership we're doing to work some of these things out.
The biggest barrier elevators face when it comes to loading 8,500-foot trains? Rail space. The Honeyford Grain Elevator is specially equipped to load the long trains because it has extra rail on either side. Later on Valley News Live at 5, stick around. Meet the four-legged hound, who's having a positive impact on Minnesota high school students.
All right, we enjoyed a gorgeous setting sun today. This view from our home of economy location in Grand Forks. Colorful skies there, big changes on the way overnight. Some of us will get some snow. Not too great for making snowmen though. Thanks for sharing your photo here, Stephanie. Your hour-by-hour forecast includes details on a First Alert weather day right after this.